This war we are in, for reasons known only to Donald Trump, hinges now on Iran reopening the Strait of Hormuz, which, for the record, was open before he started this. And now either is open or is not.
No one saw this coming. Not even the people who think nothing inside Trump's circle can surprise them anymore. The person who almost never speaks, avoids the spotlight, and usually stays as far from political chaos as possible, suddenly became the center of one of the most uncomfortable moments in Washington. Then Melania stepped up to the microphone, and whether it was an accidental slip or something far more deliberate, her words triggered a chain reaction that reportedly sent Donald Trump straight into panic mode. At the same time, Jimmy Kimmel watched it unfold like a late-night host being handed perfect material in real time, turning the chaos into entertainment almost instantly. The question that exploded across headlines and social media was simple, but dangerous. What exactly did Melania say that caught Trump completely off guard, left him furious behind closed doors, and reportedly made him hear his own wife's statement at the same time as the rest of the world?
Melania Trump hosted the second day of her global summit titled Fostering the Future Together, which is basically a commercial for AI in education, and she made quite an entrance. This, you can see, they really are looking for the...
Before going any further, make sure to like the video and subscribe, because this story gets stranger the deeper it goes, and the most unbelievable part is that it did not come from a political opponent, a foreign crisis, or a breaking investigation. It came from inside the East Wing, the one place where Melania Trump's silence has always been part of the mystery. For years, that silence has been her trademark, but on one deeply awkward afternoon, it suddenly broke in a way that no one seemed prepared for. Out of nowhere, she delivered a statement so politically uncomfortable and so badly timed that Donald Trump reportedly looked like someone caught in the middle of an explosion without any warning. In a White House built around message control, that kind of moment is not just awkward, it is dangerous.
Democrats were refusing to fund the DHS until that happened. The good news is they were able to make some kind of an agreement without having to pull an all-nighter. Bad news is that means they had no excuse not to go to Melania's documentary premiere tonight. The good news is bigger than the bad news. Melania Trump, as you know, got a movie deal. Amazon paid her $28 million for a doc. Everything is just so deeply corrupt, but all...
For Jimmy Kimmel, who has spent years turning political dysfunction into late-night material, the whole thing must have felt almost too perfect to be real. Just moments before, the country was already trying to keep up with another wave of Trump-era confusion, including mixed signals over foreign policy, military actions wrapped in vague language, ceasefires that sounded clearer in speeches than in reality, and alliances shifting in ways that left even experienced observers unsure of what was actually happening. It was already a mess, already overwhelming, already the kind of environment where one more contradiction could push everything over the edge. Then suddenly the focus changed, and what had been a chaotic political story turned into something much stranger and far more personal.
Even to Donald Trump, Melania emerged from the rubble of the East Wing. She brushed the drywall off her business suit and delivered a doozy of a prepared statement demanding that we stop talking about something no one was talking about.
Good afternoon. The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today.
Out of nowhere, Melania Trump stepped out from the background and took over the entire news cycle in a way that felt almost impossible to predict. The timing was so disruptive that it instantly knocked every other political storyline to the side. And for someone like Kimmel, it probably felt less like a normal news development and more like being handed a perfectly written script. This was the kind of moment late-night hosts hope for, not because it needs exaggeration, but because it already carries its own built-in tension, irony, and confusion. A figure known for silence suddenly speaks, and instead of calming anything down, she creates a completely new problem that no one, especially Trump, looks ready to handle.
One of those robots is Melania, okay? The other is Figure 3, which is a humanoid that can complete simple household chores like doing laundry, loading the dishwasher, and it can teach your children. And in the corner there of the screen is the French First Lady, Brigitte Macron, who picked a weird day to visit. No one's exactly sure what they should do here because, she's kind of suspicious walking along.
The situation was already tense long before Melania said anything. Trump was dealing with growing criticism over foreign policy confusion, slipping approval numbers, and the constant pressure of trying to present every development as some kind of victory, even when the facts clearly pointed in another direction. His messaging had started to feel increasingly detached from reality, like outcomes were being declared first and explained later. Then Melania stepped in during a White House appearance that reportedly caught even seasoned reporters off guard and addressed claims linking her to Jeffrey Epstein, despite the fact that the issue was not dominating headlines about her at that moment. That unexpected decision is what made the whole thing irresistible for Kimmel. In his framing, it looked like she had just dragged a buried controversy right back into public view, undoing weeks of effort to keep attention elsewhere. And according to reports that surfaced afterward, Trump may not even have known she planned to say it, which, if true, turns an awkward public moment into a far more serious private one.
We agreed to a ceasefire if and only if they reopen the strait. It appeared to be open briefly, but then Iran closed it because Israel kept attacking Lebanon. And now, even though it is allegedly open, there are no ships going through it. Basically, after all this, he got us constipation. And only a handful of ships have been allowed to pass through the strait. Yesterday, Trump floated the idea of a grand reopening / joint business venture with the people he's bombing, where we would split the...
Kimmel seized on that detail immediately, almost like someone who had just been handed the missing piece of a story at exactly the right moment. The picture he created was nearly cinematic. Trump somewhere inside the White House, completely blindsided, watching as Melania casually reopened one of the most uncomfortable subjects tied to his orbit. In Kimmel's version of events, it was the kind of shock that could make someone stop mid-sentence and stare at the screen in disbelief. What made the moment even more explosive was not only what she said, but when she chose to say it. In a single appearance, Melania tried to distance herself by explaining that she and Donald had only crossed paths with Epstein at social events in places like New York and Palm Beach, presenting it as something common among wealthy circles. But instead of reducing tension, that explanation only gave Kimmel more material. He zeroed in on the oddly detached way she spoke, as if she were discussing an inconvenient acquaintance rather than addressing a controversy loaded with political risk.
As it approaches the First Lady of France, Melania stops, and then Sacre Bleu. And it only got scarier from there as Melania pleasantly informed us that we will all soon be replaced by machines.
The future of AI is personified. It will be formed in the shape of humans. Very soon, artificial intelligence will move from our mobile phones to humanoids that deliver utility.
A lot of viewers picked up on that same tone and described it as distant, controlled, and almost staged, which only made the timing feel more suspicious. But Kimmel's sharpest point was not really about how Melania sounded. It was about why she chose that exact moment to speak at all. He raised a question that instantly grabbed attention. Why revive this topic now, unless something else was happening behind the scenes? That became the center of his monologue, because in Trump's world, timing is rarely treated as random. Every public appearance is calculated. Every silence means something, and every statement is assumed to serve a purpose. Melania's move did not look spontaneous. It looked placed, almost strategically dropped into the middle of an already unstable situation. Then came the detail that pushed speculation even further, the possibility that she may have made such a sensitive statement without even informing Trump in advance. Kimmel leaned hard into that idea, suggesting it pointed to a deeper internal disconnect, not just between husband and wife, but inside the broader White House operation itself.
Wanted to partner with Iran, which makes no sense. None of it makes. Are you following any of this, Guillermo?
Not at all.
Okay.
I'm lost.
But here's what Trump's going to do. No matter if the strait is open or not, he'll just say it's open. It's open. Same way he did with the riots in L.A. that never happened, or the imaginary water valve he opened to put out the fires. He'll put it on his vision board and will it to be true. So Dr. Demento is back at it with the threats again on social media.
For Trump, whose image has always been built on control, dominance, and the appearance of total command, the situation created a deeply uncomfortable contrast. Suddenly, it looked as if even his own wife was moving independently inside the political arena. And for someone obsessed with message discipline, that kind of image is a problem all by itself. Kimmel pushed the irony further by pointing out how Melania managed to reference her memoir while defending herself, turning the moment into something that felt part damage control and part promotion. He joked that in Trump family politics, even a statement tied to controversy could double as a book plug. But beneath the joke was a real point. The focus had shifted. Instead of headlines about foreign policy or strategy, the media locked onto Melania's remarks and a renewed attention on Epstein. That shift is likely what made the whole thing especially frustrating for Trump, because he thrives on deciding what the story is supposed to be, and this time that power slipped out of his hands.
Or fertility, because that is competition in the bedroom her husband does not need. Maybe someday we will have a robot president. You know, couldn't be worse than what we have right now. We got a sneak peek at what might be in store for Team Trump come November at the elections. I mentioned last night Mr. Ban Mail-in Voting voted by mail in a special election in Palm Beach. This is a district Trump won by double digits 2 years ago. And
Kimmel understood exactly why the moment mattered, and that is why his segment landed so hard. He was not just mocking the awkward timing or playing up the surface drama. He was pointing to something deeper and more humiliating. Trump appeared to lose control of his own narrative, and the disruption seemed to come from inside his own household. By the time the monologue ended, Kimmel had turned the episode into a full piece of political satire, complete with strained relationships, nervous aides, fractured messaging, and a president who, according to the joke, may have been learning about family communication strategy from reporters in real time. What made it work so well was that it barely needed exaggeration. The reality already felt absurd enough. A first lady known for staying quiet steps forward, and instead of critics or investigators creating the problem, the trouble starts from within. Kimmel made sure the audience felt the full irony of that. And once the clip started circulating, the ripple effect only made the whole situation.
Go on, please.
I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach.
And everywhere. I love how she keeps calling him Epstein like it's an episode of Welcome Back, Kotter or something. And why is this happening?
Kimmel leaned into that instinct again, which is exactly why his take resonated with so many people. He was not just making fun of Melania's timing. He was exposing the deeper embarrassment underneath it. Trump, who has always tried to control every angle of his public image, suddenly found himself reacting to a story he did not start, could not direct, and apparently did not even see coming. Worse, the source of the disruption was not an outsider, but someone inside his own home. By the end of the segment, Kimmel had reframed the episode as a sharp piece of political satire built around miscommunication, nervous staff, broken message control, and a president who seemed to be catching up to events rather than leading them. What made the moment stand out was how little extra drama it needed. The situation itself already felt bizarre. A usually silent first lady steps into view, and instead of opponents causing the damage, her own words ignite the chaos. The aftermath only made it more entertaining for Kimmel, because the White House suddenly looked trapped in exactly the kind of media storm Trump usually creates for everyone else.
Donald Trump has a new celebrity friend. I don't know if you've seen this, but her name is Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is in the Oval Office. You can see her there grouping with a group of men who would normally call the police on her. and Donald Trump just delighted, taking it all in. He's so happy. This relationship has been brewing for quite some time, ever since COVID nearly exploded Nikki's cousin's friend's balls. And, of course, Trump was delighted. He's never had...
For years, Melania has maintained an almost mysterious distance from the permanent turbulence surrounding Trump. She rarely appears, speaks very little, and often moves through scandal and controversy with a kind of emotional detachment that makes her seem separate from the political machine around her. That silence has always made her hard to read, and unpredictability is something political systems do not handle well. Kimmel captured that idea perfectly, treating her silence as if it were something quiet but powerful, always sitting just below the surface. And when that silence finally broke, it disrupted everything Trump had been trying to keep under control. The Epstein angle only made the moment more volatile. Kimmel highlighted the irony with sharp humor, comparing Trump's usual strategy to someone throwing distractions in every direction so no one focuses on the real problem. But in this case, Melania herself reopened the subject and dragged attention right back to it. Then came the most symbolic detail of all, the possibility that Trump may not have known any of this was coming.
Not Epstein's victim.
I am my husband's victim.
Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998. This initial encounter with my husband is documented in a detail in my book, Melania.
Only a member of the Trump family could turn a defiant speech about a pedophile into a plug for her boo.
That single possibility became hugely important because it challenged one of the core ideas Trump has spent years building around himself, the idea of total control. He has always tried to present himself as the person who hears everything first, approves every move, and shapes every headline before anyone else can react. But the suggestion that Melania caught him off guard made him look less like the person in charge and more like the last person to know what was happening inside his own circle. Kimmel used that angle brilliantly, joking that it made Trump seem like the final person to be informed in his own operation. Then he pushed the argument further with a simple but damaging comparison. If communication inside the White House is this fractured, what does that say about the administration's ability to handle complex global negotiations? It worked because it connected a private embarrassment to a broader political critique, painting a picture of aid scrambling, tension building behind closed doors, and Trump demanding answers in a situation where the real problem may have come directly from Melania herself.
So different, in fact, that Nicki Minaj is now in possession of a Trump gold card. There, she posted that. These are the visas Trump has been selling for $1 million a pop. If you buy one, you get lawful permanent resident status. But she didn't buy one. She said she got it for free. He gave it to her. She gets a gold card. He gets a famous...
The situation also created a very unusual problem for Trump personally. He is known for reacting quickly and aggressively when he feels cornered, whether the criticism comes from judges, journalists, rivals, or even former allies. But this time, the source of the disruption was different. Responding publicly to Melania would risk making the entire episode even bigger and turning one awkward moment into a full-blown family spectacle. So instead, he was left with silence, and silence is not usually where he is most comfortable. That silence only fed more speculation. People started asking whether Melania's move was intentional, whether it signaled deeper tension, or whether it was simply a personal attempt to distance herself from ongoing controversies. Kimmel treated all of those possibilities as both believable and entertaining. He even joked that Melania might be the only person in Trump's orbit capable of causing chaos and walking away untouched. As the clip spread, social media piled on with memes portraying Trump as a confused husband learning about family developments in real time. And Kimmel's segment worked because it captured the surreal quality of the moment in a way straight reporting never really could.
6 weeks trying to bomb this Epstein story out of the headlines. 2 days after the ceasefire, she puts it right back on top. She must really hate him. I don't know how else to explain it. So then a reporter gets hold of Trump, calls his phone. He says, I didn't know anything about this statement Melania made. He didn't know she was going to do it before she did it, which shows you just how smoothly things are running over there. For whatever reason, she didn't ask. She didn't give him a heads up. She just went right out in front of the cameras and fired away.
This is exactly where late-night satire shows its real value. Journalists can explain what happened, but someone like Jimmy Kimmel can show why it feels so absurd. And that is what made this moment stand out. It revealed something deeper than an awkward press appearance or a badly timed statement. It exposed just how fragile Trump's carefully built image can look when one unexpected move throws the whole system off balance. For all the talk of control, strength, and dominance, it took only one unannounced moment for Melania to disrupt the narrative he had been trying to manage. That is not power. That is what happens when a tightly controlled performance falls apart, because one person steps off script. By the time the dust settled, Trump was left dealing with a situation he could not instantly reshape, could not fully bury, and could not overpower with louder headlines. And Kimmel, watching from the safety of a late-night stage, captured the full irony of it. Not from investigators, not from leaked documents, but from inside Trump's own household, where a single unexpected appearance was enough to shake the entire media strategy and turn ordinary political drama into something that felt far more personal.